Nanu Nanu, Earthlings. Here's a pop quiz for you. Who knows what that is? Yeah, I took videography in college for 12 years. Okay. That's a ray of light. Atomic structure of a ray of light. Those are photons. That's a string of photons. Cool, huh? You see the magnetic component is the red and the blue, and then the nucleus in the center, which is the photon. Right, the nucleus. Yeah, so. Yeah. Anyway, hey, some guys asked if I could kind of give a little bit of detail or a little bit of help maybe so they can generate some ideas on where they want to go with a project, and they were looking at my stuff and they thought it would be cool to it would be cool to I guess play with the coil thing and the accelerated thing and all that like that. So I just want to show what I did my first prototype proof of concept thing I did, and I just used a piece of small stuff, little 1/4" neodymium magnet. Let me make sure this thing is yeah, okay, yeah, it's all good. All right. By the way, before I get too far into this, man, I forget. Any of you guys seen, I know we've all seen these chem clouds, they seem to be around, I don't know, they seem to be just a little higher than what commercial jetliners are. And they look like, 747s or whatever, I see them all the time. Last couple of days I've been seeing these craft above the high whispery clouds that we've been having. I mean, they're up there, man. And they are freaking fast. I got my binoculars on one a couple days ago. It looked like an old F-16. No. X-15. Remember the old one, Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier in it? It kind of looked like that. Didn't have wings, man. Did not have wings extending off the sides of it. It had like little stubby little wings that were longer than what you would normally expect a stubby wing airplane to be. And then the tail section looked boxy, squared, boxy with the exhaust coming out of the back of it, and it is high and it is smoking fast. And then I went on the internet. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent like this, but I'm going to show you guys this stuff. I went on the internet and tried to find something that looked like it. Right? And all I could find was that. But this inlet here, the airplane, whatever the jet I saw, it did not have that. It was like round. Here's a picture I drew. I showed my wife. That's a picture I drew, and I seen it. It's kind of hard to get the perspective because I seen it. I mean, it was way up there. That's what I drew, and then this is the closest thing I can find to it. And that was something that they used back in the '60s. Some kind of high altitude something or other. But anyway, that's it. I want to know if anybody's seen one of those. I'm trying to get it on video. I've got a couple clips. I had one go by this morning, and I'm telling you, it went smoking past me, and it made a left turn. Yeah, I was, and the trail. You can see the trail. Really narrow little trail too. I mean, contrail. Really narrow. And through. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I got that on video. I'm going to share it with you guys one of these times when I finally find the craft in my with my camera. But anyway, okay, back to where we were. Sorry about that. I'm just so freaking passionate about everything now. All right. So, like the first one I made, like, right? See, it's funny how one little idea will kind of trigger another idea, right? And so I watch these guys making these little coil guns and stuff on YouTube. And so I said, well, geez, if you had a coil gun and you shot the projectile out and it came back, you could shoot it again. And if you could do that over and over and over, and you had a coil in between, and you can get in that sweet part of the interior of a coil like this. It's way more efficient than, you know, taking the energy magnetically from the face of a coil or something like that. You get that dense magnetic whatever inside these coils is really good. So anyway, so I made this thing and I put a motor on it. Real simple. What did I do with my motor? I used the motor. This little 12-volt motor, and I mounted it in here. I got the little gear, put the gear on there. Had the little the rotary gear, so it generates more torque, and I put an arm on it with magnets on it. And I started spinning that thing around and threw it on the voltmeter, and I was getting, you know, pretty good current or voltage, you know. Microamps, of course, you know, it's not a charged coil or anything, but then I started taping magnets around this thing to make it a charged coil with neodymium magnets, and it really increased the output a lot. So I put power to it, and I start shooting that magnet, and I can still do it. I can shoot power in this thing and accelerate that magnet. There it goes. You see it? It shot all the way around. In fact, it came back here. Oh no, it stopped right here at this little junction. That little junction's always going to be a problem. I'll show you guys how to fix that. I didn't know how to fix it when I made this. Okay, so watch again. It's going to come out of here. Got to be in the sweet spot, you know, like half of it's positive, half's negative. You got to be over on the opposite side, or else it won't do it. Huh. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it shot this way. Oh, okay. I got the wrong polarity here. Well, it's still shooting out that way. Okay, it's over here. There it goes. Shot all the way to here. That's sweet. Kind of changed a little bit. It's going on the other side over there. Wish I could turn this around too. Okay, it's gonna be shooting right out of here. There it goes. Went all the way to here. Let's see. So that's the point. Is if you get the timing right, right? So you got a bunch of these coils. So you get a bunch of these coils, just like, you know, my second one over there, and you double wrap them. Oh, let me show you how to wrap them, by the way, because there's a real cool little trick for that. When you buy your tubing, I don't use this cheap stuff. This is like the cheap stuff, the cheap waterline stuff. I use the high pressure poly, I don't know, some kind of poly tubing. It's high pressure though. It's like it'll take like 160 psi or something. It's a lot stiffer than this. It's thicker walled, and it doesn't have as much elastomer in it, you know. So it's not like a thermoset plastic or a thermoplastic. It's like in between. It's almost like a nylon kind of. And so the resistance inside is very slick, very low resistance. So the magnets will spin around real easy. Well, when you buy your tubing, right, these tubings come on a roll. If you get the first pieces off the roll, you get a big piece like this, right? When you go to try to bend it around and make your thing, then all of a sudden it goes under a lot of stress, and then you can't really get a real good circular, continuous, you know, round circle. But if you buy, when you buy it, if you get the top, then you make a big one. Because if you get it at the bottom of the spool, right, then when it comes off the machine, it's already coiled real tight, right? And then you buy, you know, 5 or 6 feet of it, and it's always stayed coiled like that. And then now you can, when you put it together, and put your little coupling on there, like I did on this one. There's a little coupling right there, right there, to hold it together. Then it'll stay together. But you can't really wrap it like this. You can't, you know, wrap your coils like this unless you got a, you know, inductor wrapper, right? So what you got to do is you take a piece of rod and you stick it through like so, and then get yourself something with some bearings on it or whatever. And that's how I did it. I hooked a drill to it, had my wire, and I just you can use tape if you want. I made like a little dam using tape, Gorilla tape, to create like a dam so that the kind of like making a spool, the ends of the spool, you know, you don't want the coil to collapse. And so you just wrap it many as you want, double coil if you want, just like the Bedini thing. That's what I'm thinking, is if you do the Bedini thing where you you know, small gauge wire and a large gauge wire, you know, you spin it just like that, and you do your full 550 whatever, you're going to get quite a bit thicker of a coil. But the really cool thing about that is you can now set up your circuit so that you can now accelerate the magnets through this thing. And I really kind of picture this thing, once you get the magnet positions correct so that they're all opposing fields, so the magnet, one magnet can't move without all of them moving, kind of like a bunch of UFOs. How about that? Okay, so if one moves, they all move, right? And so you don't have this Bedini motor no more. You're just energizing each of the fields, and then you have little Hall sensors, and they sense the magnet, interrupt the signal. Momentum carries them through to the next pulse, and they just, once you get this thing rolling, man, I'm thinking this thing is going to make some serious voltages. And so anyway, I'm going to make one the minute I get done with this project. There's plenty of circuits. It's picking them when it works. I'm still having an issue with parallel transistors. And if I was gonna run this Bedini thing, the circuit, the coils, then I'm gonna need to be able to run, you know, synchronous, either a synchronous system, timing synchronous system that's not this same type of transistor switching backflow kind of mechanism that they got going on. Hey, that's what I got you guys for. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Now, look at this. Hello. Let's show you. Let me go up here. I'm going to show you guys a couple things here. You know, when you're designing something like this, anything you make, anything that you make is going to have problems. You can't figure everything out during the design stage. That's why you make prototypes. That's why you do the systems development, is you design all the little systems, like these blocks that I made, or like these little things. They're all systems that you make, and you develop all these little system components, and then you integrate them. So that when you integrate them, most of the ideas are okay, other than you don't know what the functionality and the relationships is going to be. So those are the things that you need to try to characterize. And one of the things I had is a great idea. It works. All this stuff works really cool. But one of the things I found is now the mounts, like my first prototype, you can use, I just used little pieces of dowel, you know, I used a hot glue gun, glued the whole thing together. Hot glue does a lot of really fantastic things. All of these parts that are on here, they're all hot glued on, and nothing here is screwed on or so, it's all hot glued, and JB weld with a couple pins. There's not a single weld in this. But the point is, what I'm trying to get at here is that when you got this magnet here, this is one of the driver magnets. Inside, there's 3 of them. Those driver magnets are in attraction to the interior magnets, right? So what's going to happen is that magnet is going to pull this magnet against that wall right there, and it's going to create resistance to the rotation. One magnet by itself is not a problem, But if you get 2 magnets, 3 magnets, 4 magnets, you can multiply the resistance by the number of magnets you got. So what I've done, this is part of that problem solving, is that I made these outriggers, and I'm going to use the same material here and bolt them onto here, and now I can put new magnets on the other side of this at the same distance, and now I can kind of hold it in equilibrium, you know, where I got 2 magnetic forces on both sides, attractive forces, keeping that thing kind of in place. So maybe it's going to be a balance. I can shim this thing right here to kind of play with it, you know. And once I get it to the sweet spot, you shouldn't feel any resistance at all. It should just glide through there. That's the idea. So just a neat little consideration. Anything else? Oh, another thing too. You guys can make your rotors out of any material you want. Let me pull back away. You can make your rotor material out of anything you want. This thing is not perfectly, you know, round or anything. I don't have a mill or anything, or a lathe. And I just bought all the raw materials and made it myself. Because when you drill your first 1/4 inch hole or your first 3/8 inch hole, it don't matter what's going on anywhere other than an equal radius from that center hole to wherever this edge is. So even if you cut this thing all stupid, the minute you got the 3/8 hole in here, and you put a big 3/8 bolt through there and you stick it in a big heavy drill and stuff the drill in the vise or whatever, or if you got a drill press, now you can spin this thing, and you know, I just use my file and I can just let it wear. You can see this edge right here is really, you know, that's from filing and sanding it so that it gets as round as I can get it. And now you have a center hole and a concentric outer deal, and you can use anything. Polycarbonate, 1/4 inch polycarbonate, and then you can always glue polycarbonate, so you can make everything out of polycarbonate if you want. You can buy different tubing in polycarbonate, and it glues real good. And you buy the right size polycarbonate for your bearings. If you wanted to make a rotor or Bedini kind of thing like this, you just got to be resourceful, you know. It's an interesting time for us, man. You know, I'm not afraid to take on new challenges and stuff in any aspect of my life right now, and it's something that's different than well, let me take that back. It's different since I've been 40 to now. It's been different, but now this thing's happening to me, and I just got this whole new energy, all this. It's creative energy and it's spiritual energy, and it is a fantastic experience. And coming on to YouTube, I went on to YouTube to find out if I was freaking crazy or not. What I was going through, and I noticed a lot of people going through the same thing, and here we all are. We're all here helping each other. We're all, you know, with adjusted spirits, and it's a good thing. It makes me feel good, and excited. When I get up in the morning, I'm really excited. I want to get in here and start playing. I'm retired, by the way, so you know, it's not like I have a job. This is my job, and being on ET patrol. It's just a wonderful life, man. It's a wonderful life, and like I say, I can't wait to get up in the morning. But anyway, you know, you guys, if you got any questions, you guys, just ask me, man. Whatever you need. Also have a lot of patents on some really cool optical stuff. If you guys want to do anything with sensing or infrared or I don't know, just kind of cool stuff with LEDs. I'm big on LED and photodiodes and sensing and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's my story. I'll talk with you guys later.